Are you interested in knowing whether polyphasic sleeping is dangerous? In the last video in the series, we talked about the life expectancy of people who are short sleepers. And in this video, we'll take a more in-depth look at how the circadian rhythm could be altered by changing sleep patterns and what this could mean for the health effects of polyphasic sleepers. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Crimson Flower and I'm a main author of Polyphasic.net, the community recommended resource for polyphasic sleepers. So today we're talking about the circadian rhythm, and if you don't know what it is, we made a whole video on it before, and it will be linked in the description where you can check it out. In a nutshell, the circadian rhythm is a body clock and it's shifted by external cues. At certain points during the day, specific hormones are released, the body temperature is regulated, and the ideal sleep peaks are determined. All this is based on the biological clock. If you start messing with it, you could possibly develop some really negative side effects. In this video, we will take a look at the circadian rhythm or circadian health from two different aspects. The first is what happens if you don't ensure a good circadian health, and the second, what happens if your sleep actually alters the architecture of the circadian rhythm. As we described in the video about circadian rhythms, if you disrupt your circadian rhythm by exposing yourself to bright light during the night, or eating during the night, or exercising during the night, you can alter the timing of the circadian morning, and that can result in your circadian rhythm being treated as interrupted, which then can have some really negative effects, like the development of cardiovascular diseases, obesity, diabetes, and so on. So it's not a good situation to be in by any means. Because of this, we have some recommendations in place as to what you should do to ensure a good circadian health, and we made a whole video on it that you can check out in the description below too. Let's look at another part of the problem here, if your sleep actually alters the architecture of the circadian rhythm. Thus far, there is some evidence that shows that changes in light durations will alter the circadian night and thus the architecture of the circadian rhythm. For example, in the research article called "In Short Photoperiods, Human Sleep is Biphasic" by Thomas Ware, the author found some evidence that an altered internal structure of the circadian rhythm from shortened photoperiods would actually manifest. And that's fine if it turned out that the circadian rhythm was altered from internal processes, like the timings for when you sleep. That could result in several negative effects as a result of it. External processes that alter the circadian structure or circadian rhythm's architecture are called zeitgebers, from a German word zeitgeber. External processes here, there are 7 of them that we know of at this moment. It's light, eating times, exercising, social interactions, atmospheric conditions, and temperature, and of course some medications. So, if sleep was on this list, you could do a segmented schedule, and when you wake up during the night after 3.5 hours, your body would treat it as morning, and that could really disrupt your circadian rhythm in a similar way as to when you were if you were exposing yourself to light at that time. So it's not really a good ideal situation to be in. At this point in time, it's unknown whether polyphasic sleep alters the circadian rhythm, the architecture of the circadian rhythm, but there doesn't seem to be any evidence for it. It seems more like sleep is a manifestation of the circadian rhythm, and not a contributor to the set timings. One good example to show here is a study called "Timing of REM Sleep is Coupled to the Circadian Rhythm of Body Temperature in Man" by Zeitgeber et al. It has a really good visualization on the desynchronization sleep pattern, and we can clearly see that the optimal REM timing isn't shifted from day to day just because the sleep pattern is different, okay? In fact, desynchronization studies shouldn't really be possible to pull off if sleep was a zeitgeber, because then the rhythm should be shifted with the sleep times and we shouldn't be able to see any differences, only a difference in the length of the circadian rhythm. But as I said, that's not really seen at the moment. If you're interested in debunking polyphasic sleep, this could be another point to prey on. If it turned out that altering your sleep architecture would impact the circadian timings, more research would then need to be completed in order to find out whether this has any negative effects. So thus far, this is the point with the least amount of weight against polyphasic sleep. If it turned out that this was the case, especially if the circadian morning was strict with several other zeitgebers, it would hold even less weight, because zeitgebers have a sort of hierarchy. Some of them are stronger than others. The light is the strongest one, but the other ones are also affecting circadian rhythm. But if you have, 7 inputs that tell you that this is the time of the morning and only one that tell you that it's during the night, it might be cancelled out by the other ones. Just something to consider, okay? So the only way it seems like sleep can disrupt the circadian rhythm during the moment is as a secondary effect, because when you're sleeping, you're not really able to eat, you're not really able to exercise, so that's the only way I can see it as sort of affecting sleep. But that's a secondary reaction, not a primary reaction. It's not because you're sleeping that the circadian rhythm is affected, it's because you're sleeping and therefore you're not able to do other things that it's affected. So I wouldn't worry about it too much here. Alright, in the next video we're going to talk about amyloid beta and how it can be used to show that polyphasic sleeping is dangerous. If you want to make sure you don't miss out on that video, be sure to subscribe, and that way you will be notified when we release that video, okay? Great, that's all for today. I hope you had a good day, I hope that your evening is going to be fine, and I wish you to have pleasant naps.